going to talk through the tips today because I think Renata and I are going to cover what are some of the tips because we're going into the end of Q2. We're going into June. So we're going to name 5 tips each that you need to keep in mind for selling for either the end of the quarter or going into the summer. So Renata, I will let you kick it off. What is tip number one?
These are some of my favorite times as far as, actually getting out and finding things that people like to buy because it's, fun stuff. So for the summer, I recommend that you go out and actually stock up and find pool floats. Pool floats sell really well, especially I sold a bunch already in May, but people gearing up for the Memorial Day weekend, which is coming up next weekend,
Yeah.
as well as going into July 4th. So if you've got some and you haven't sent them into your fulfillment center, get that done ASAP. In addition to the pool floats, everything that goes along with that. So we talk about the floaties, we talk about the little tubes, we talk about the seats that you can throw into your pool and just kind of hang out, that sort of thing. People want to relax while they're waiting for their turkey leg or whatever to come off of the grill. So anything pool related is going to be tip numero uno. Tip number one is anything pool related.
Okay. Well, tip number two for me is outdoor entertaining. People are sort of over or done with COVID in their minds. All of those family reunions that were put off, all of those weddings that were put off, all of those parties where people were celebrating turning 50 were put off. And so I think people are going to go to the extreme this summer, and there's going to be a lot of backyard gatherings or a lot of gatherings in general. Be the thing. I don't know what this thing is doing. This tool melon is very sensitive, but anyway, entertaining is going to be outdoor entertaining is going to be the next big thing, and that people are going to want to do. So I would encourage you to look into selling products that involve or related to or connected to outdoor entertaining or any opportunity for people to get together, an excuse for them to get together. That includes, everything from tablecloths and plates and, the stuff, plates to eat on, cook, all of the outdoor entertaining stuff, lights, umbrellas, chairs, tables, you name it. If there's an opportunity for you to be outside and do it, people are going to want to do it, and they're going to want to do it with family and friends. So that's what I think.
Tip number two. Okay, so tip number three for me is going to be while you're outside entertaining, you might want to tie some of that stuff down because we're going into hurricane season.
That's
We're
true.
going directly into hurricane season. So people every year, you'll find the people that will go out and actually buy tons of non-perishables and that sort of thing, but they'll also need things to prepare their house and, anything that they have that might be damaged or blow away. So you'll want to look at tarps. You can buy those from liquidators. You can buy those in bulk and do really well with those, but not only the tarps, but people will be trying to board things up. They'll be trying to protect things. They'll be, trying to make sure that they have the most of whatever. So if you look into, I don't usually get into a lot of electronics, but if you look into some of the radios, like anything solar powered and that sort of thing is really good this time of year, especially as people go into the outdoor entertaining. I know for me, I try to look for things that might be multifunctional. So if I'm going to plug something up and use it for outdoor entertaining, I want it to have features like, be able to be crank charged or solar charged and that sort of thing, so that if I needed to get some weather or news and the power happened to be out, then I would have that, have that available to me. The other thing would be generators. That's not something, when we talk about our good friend Norman, we talk about the big things that he used to sell. The generators isn't something that I got into at all until a few years ago. We had a cold snap last year, and then a few years ago we had one that didn't last as long. But I actually did get into selling some of the smaller generators that people can run, that don't have to be installed, so to speak, that people can plug in and run, have them plugged up and charged, and then just run them in the event of a power outage. So anything hurricane or severe weather related, you want to be looking into that now. And that was tip number 3.
The preparedness. Dun dun dun. All right. Well, tip number 4, we got to keep the kiddos busy. We got to keep them distracted. They got to be doing something. So, anything to keep the kids distracted this summer, keep them engaged in an activity, keep them out of your hair and keep them out of the neighbor's hair. Things that are going to keep the kids busy. Now, that can be indoor activities around education, making sure that they don't regress or lose any skills. Reading books, flashcards, workbooks, that kind of stuff, or outdoor, putting them outside, the slip and slide, or the cornhole, whatever. Give them something to do. So activities for your kids is tip number 4.
And I'm at tip number 5, just because we're going into coming out of school and knowing that we're going to be actually looking forward to getting them back in. It's a great time to actually be looking for any of the back to school products that you can put together bundles with. And so we look for that every year about this time. Nicole and I talk every year about putting together bundles and how you can actually make a killing when you're putting items together in a bundle, that people don't have to run around to 15 different stores to find things. You got to keep in mind that people start school even in the summertime. You have summer sessions, especially for college students, kids that might need to go to summer school. But summer back to school items is in the summer is a really big niche. And so if you haven't tapped into that, suggest you go take a look, not only in the inventory that you might have left over from last August, when kids were going back to school, but if you've got things that you might not have actually put into a bundle before, you might want to look at putting some of those things into bundles. The other thing is, if you're going to some of the specialty stores, be a great time to find things that you can put into a bundle for college students, because many of them leave not when college starts, but over the summer. That's
Yep,
tip number.
they do. They do. All right, tip number 6 is consumables. So, consumables, I'm not going to say replenishables, although we're not to take that one, but consumables, people are going to be buying a bunch of stuff because they're going to be entertaining. So there's going to be some barbecuing, and people are going to be buying barbecue sauce in bulk. So you can have the opportunity to do multi-packs. They're going to be buying juice. Well, we're not going to sell juice, but we are going to sell the sauces. Lots of sauces, lots of marinades, lots of, I'm trying to think of all of them. Like, all of those things that you can make, multiple boxes of macaroni and cheese, or mashed potatoes or rice or whatever. They're going to be buying a bunch of consumables because they're going to be doing outdoor entertaining. So if you're doing anything for Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day, if you're cooking, other people are cooking. What are the things that you're buying? What are you marinating? What type of marinade are you buying? Is there something new out there you want to try, something to sample? This may also be an opportunity for you to look into some white label and private label. So that is something that's definitely going to be happening. So look at your consumables. You have a lot of entertainment that's going to be happening. People are going to be looking for snack goods for their kids this summer as well. So consumables.
So Nicole mentioned replenishables. I kind of think they go hand in hand. But when we
Yeah.
think about consumables, we think about those things that we're actually ingesting or drinking. But when we talk about replenishables, that could be anything from, the hair care products or toiletries. Those things, again, when you look at people's activity over the summer, traveling, entertaining the kids, going on vacations, whether it's a staycation or road trip, people will be buying not even travel size items, but whether it's toothpaste, all those things that you use and use again. If you haven't tapped into the replenishables market, this is a great time to look into it. And I thought we were only doing 5, but that was 7, and so I think I'm tapped
Well,
out.
no, you have 5 and I have 5 because we're doing 10 total.
I got you.
Okay, so my next one is since she mentioned travel, I was going to mention travel. People are going to be traveling. Like, they have been stuck in the house, they've been going nowhere. So I don't know if they can be going on cruises because we're not doing any cruises. But we talked about that. But people are still going to be traveling. They started traveling last year and the year before, but I think right now they're literally going to go buck wild with traveling. I think that's going to happen a lot. So there's going to be an uptick in luggage being sold and carry on bags, anything that you can use to transport your stuff wherever you're going, whether you're going to Nana's house or Nana's coming to your house. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of luggage and a lot of carry-alls and a lot of, carrying those things, including, to carry their electronic devices in. So if you are selling any of those products, you're about to have an uptick in sales, and that is probably going to last until the end of the year. All right.
Okay, my last tip is going to be along the same line of what I mentioned before, but people that are at home, whether they're home for just more time during the summer because they are working from home or because now it's warmer outside and they're going to take advantage of that. Home improvement. So you're going to run into people that are doing everything from, cleaning up the flower beds to maybe planting a garden, getting out and actually trying to maybe do a small repair on the roof to, just, the hose bib on the side of the house that hasn't worked for the last year because of the cold snap. So now that it's warming up, people are going to be out and they're going to be actually finding things around the house that they can actually get taken care of that might have taken a back seat for the over the cooler months. So anything that you can find, and we talked about tarps. Tarps are multi-purpose, so you can use those to kind of spread things out and have easy access to things. But you also might want to look at small toolboxes and things that you can snap in to your garage. Those kinds of things that make things easier for people to take care of their home improvement projects. But this is a great time to look into some of those things. And again, there's small tools. It doesn't have to be power tools and that sort of thing, but everything from the smaller screwdrivers to the hex. I sell a lot of hex sets. The different sizes of the hex sets. Those things come in really handy when you've got people either putting together the patio furniture, whatever that may look like. You want to take a look at anything that might help people with their home improvement projects.
All right. Okay, so this last one is probably going to be a 3-in-1. I'm just going to say one, clearance. There's clearance from Mother's Day, clearance from Easter. If you're collecting those things to be able to sell them for a higher price later on next year. Clearance from graduation, clearance. So grab the clearance. Number two, a lot of these kids that have graduated from high school, they're going to be potentially going to college. So parents are going to be prepping those kids to go out the door. So you want to get prepared for that. And there's a lot of different packages or bundles that you have the opportunity to be able to sell just to get kids prepared. And there's also inventory that you can be selling so that parents can have that stuff shipped to the dorms or shipped to wherever, or if they're going to get an off-campus apartment, whatever. So preparing those graduates for their first life outside of the home. For those
Love
parents that are
you.
ready for them to, here we go. Bye, Felicia. And then,
Love you. Bye bye.
yep. And then you've got Father's Day. Father's Day, you still have the opportunity to source for that. There's still time to get that. And the last one is don't forget the summer blockbusters. Whatever the blockbusters are, as they are coming back, and they have those products out there, whether they be backpacks, lunch pails, pencils, notebooks, socks, jackets, hats. Those particular things are great bundle opportunities that will last for at least through the end of the year as products that you can sell.